Hey guys, it's Olivia Grace back with another video for you guys. Today I wanted to give some advice on one characteristic, one trait that if you develop it will improve every area of your life. And that trait is confidence, loving yourself, valuing yourself. The reason why this will improve every area, and I mean every area, I mean your friendships, I mean your relationships, I mean your job, I mean the house you live in, the car you live in, or not that you live in, the car you're driving, the people that you surround yourself with. Um, Everything changes when you value yourself more. And the thing that changes all of these other things is your standards. When you love yourself, when you have confidence, your standards raise. I know you can think of maybe a couple of friends that you have. You go to one friend's house, their house is dirty, there's clutter everywhere, there's maybe toys everywhere, maybe dog stuff everywhere, dog hair everywhere, it smells funny, and that's how their house always looks because that's their standard of living. Now, if you ask them, hey, why don't you ever clean up? Why don't you ever, just do what this or something? Why don't you ever do anything to basically keep your house together? And they may tell you, well, I have kids, I don't have time, or the dog, they mess everything up, or, I can't, or I try, and I this and I that. But the real reason they don't is because it's not a priority to them. It's not a part of their standard. They're okay with living in squalor, basically. And it's not to talk mess about anybody, but it's just showing you a standard because you can go to another friend's house that has a kid, that has a dog, and their house is pristine. Everything is always put away. Everything is where it's supposed to go. Everything has a place to be. And it always looks like that. And you can ask them, how do you find time, to do this when you have a kid, you have a dog, you have jobs, how do you find time to keep your house so clean? And they'll say, oh, maybe I have a schedule, or, oh, maybe I do this, or I just do it as I go, or whatever. But the real reason is that's their standard. They're not gonna live in a house where everything is cluttered and all over the place. And because their standard is higher, they are choosing to do things that match that standard. They're scheduling in cleaning, whereas the other person doesn't schedule in cleaning. They're looking at ways and buying products that will keep their house cleaner, whereas the other person has no reason to look into anything like that because they're okay with what's going on. Same thing with relationships. Think about a friend that has, a guy friend or a boyfriend that does absolutely nothing for her. She pays all the bills. He doesn't work. She does everything for him. He's always with other women. He's always breaking her heart. She's always just in turmoil over this guy and, doesn't know what to do. But guess what? That's her standard. No one's forcing her with a gun to her head to be in that relationship, but that's what she accepts as okay for herself. So because that's her standard, no matter if she breaks up with this guy and gets with the next Joe Schmo, he's going to be the same because her standards have not changed. Whereas you have another friend who her guy's always buying her stuff. He's always taking her out. He's always being there for her. He's always listening to her. He's always being loving. And you look at her and she doesn't even have to be the prettiest girl in the world. Maybe not even the nicest girl in the world. Like these like kind of stuck up girls that are, they get everything from the guys. And you look at them and it's like, what are you doing? I'm sitting here catering to my guy. I'm doing everything I can. He can't even do anything for me. But for you, you just sit back and he's just cashing out on you. What's the difference? That's her standard. That's what she expects for herself. When other guys try and come and talk to her, she's not hearing what they're saying. You know what I mean? When guys that don't meet that standard come and shoot their shot, they're missing because she's like, you're not even close to the level that you need to be at to mess with me. And, like I just said, we can look at them and say, oh, they're stuck up, they're bougie, they're this, they're that. But guess what? I'm not necessarily happier in her entire life, but she's getting what she wants, what she truly wants, because she allows herself to want that. So when you raise your standards, two things change. What you allow changes and what you do changes, right? And both of these were good examples. If your standard is higher for a cleaner house, you're not going to allow your house to pile up for a week with dishes. You're not going to allow, your laundry to be piled up for months with, out folding it or putting away or washing it. You're not going to smell something and be like, oh, that's a weird smell, and just keep going about your day. You're going to figure out what it is and clean it because that's your standard, you know? And again, what you do is different. So the person that has a clean house, what they do is different. They may wake up. I had a friend tell me that she used to wake up every morning before school and clean her room. But why? We're already getting up at 5, 6 in the morning to get to school. But it was important to her that her room was clean. So she did schedule in a time to make sure that her room was clean. She does make sure that she's going to the store to get things that smell good to make her room smell good. You know, she is taking the time, like, okay, the baby's napping, let me go ahead and straighten up. And it's not to say that everybody, this isn't to say, you know, again, that people are dirty or, oh, you need to clean your house or anything like that. This is just showing you the difference between what standards can do for you. So every area in your life, your relationship, the job that you have, everything that you have right now is a reflection of what your standards are. So if your job, like if I tell most people watching this video that are adults, you know, and maybe you lose your job and I'm like, well, oh, McDonald's is hiring, you know, you should go apply. Most of you would look at me like, no, I'm not gonna apply at McDonald's, you know? And why? Because your standard has raised, you know, you're not gonna be doing that, you know? So your standard of money has raised. So when you raise your standards even higher, the thing is that we don't realize that we aim at a target and majority of the time we hit that target. What most people do is set their target low because they're afraid to miss it. They would rather easily hit a low target than to set their target higher and have to, you know, possibly fail, possibly miss, have to, you know, actually go do it over and over and over again before they hit it. So I want you to think about your vision for your life. You know, think about your goals. What goals do you have? If you have no goals, if you're listening to this and you're like, wow, I don't have any goals, your standard is not, I won't say low, but whatever you're in right now, wherever you're at, whatever you're dealing with, whatever job you're working, whatever house you're in, you're saying this is fine. For the rest of my life, I don't want to go past anywhere but here. This is my standard. I've met it. I'm good. You know, and there's nothing wrong with being content. There's nothing wrong with being happy with what you have. But I know a lot of us want more out of life. You know, majority of us want more out of life. So if you want more, you have to really give yourself permission to really want more and to expect more. If you expect more, think about Asian kids. So everybody's like, Asians are so smart. Asians are smarter than the rest of us. You know, their brains can just do more than what our brains can do. But no, the educational standard for Asian parents is much, much, much higher. Okay? You're not going outside to play if you're failing. You know, there's no failing at all. You know, their standard for their kids and the standard that the kids have for themselves is higher. So guess what? When they're studying, they're not studying to pass. They're not studying to, oh, maybe I'll get a B this time. They're studying to make an A. You know, when they're doing their homework, they're doing it to get an A. When they're doing their test, or whatever it is that they're doing it to get an A. And that is their standard. So what they do is higher. What their parents allow, they can't come to their parents and be like, oh, well, I failed because I just didn't understand. That's not really an option. You're going to understand. You're going to do what it takes. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what you want. There's a way to get it. You know, even if you haven't seen anyone do it before. One, most people, whatever it is that you want, if you want to be wildly rich, you want mansions, you want to be able to take vacations, you want a happy relationship, you want to feel good about yourself, you want whatever it is that you want to drive a Benz, whatever it is that you want, people are doing that. Most of the time people are doing it. And even if people are not doing it, I guarantee you 100% there is a way to get to it. But your brain isn't even thinking like that. When you say to yourself, well, I'd like to go on vacation, but that could never happen for me. I like to have a big house, but that would never happen for me. I'd like to have a man that loves and cares about me and, you know, doesn't cheat on me, doesn't be mean to me, doesn't embarrass me, doesn't do all these things, but those men don't exist. So when you say that, your brain listens to you. Your brain is actually serving you. It's listening to what you tell it and affirming that. So when you say, oh, I want this, but I can never do that, your brain is like, okay, they want this, but it can never happen. So we're not even focused on that. We're just focused on what's really going on, you know? So if you look around at people that have everything, that have all the things that you want, they didn't get there by saying, I'm fine here on so and so's couch. This is fine. You know, I bet you know people that just sit on the couch all day. They don't do anything. They smoking all day. Just that's their life. Literally, no job, no goals, no vision, no nothing. This is it. I'm so content right here on this couch that there's nothing else I can see for myself. And you know, but that is the standard that they have for themselves. So when you raise your standards, which is in raising your confidence, when you see I deserve more. You know, I deserve more than to be treated like this. I deserve more than to be at a job that's paying me just $10 an hour. You know, I deserve more than, I don't know, even people that are picky about what they eat. Oh, I don't eat pork. You know, I don't eat swine. It's a dirty meat. It's a dirty animal. Da 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 da. You know, and it sounds this way, it sounds that way, but that's their standard for themselves. They're at least holding themselves to a higher standard, that there are some things that are just beneath me. And a lot of people will hear that and they'll say, well, that's self-centered. That's conceited. That's, you know, whatever. That's bougie. That's, what's the word that I just said, stuck up, you know, to see that. But it's not. You know, if I ask you right now, hey, let's go all sleep out in the rain, let's all just, you know, go move under the bridge and like just live outside forever, you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Why? Because you have a standard for yourself. If you want to use the toilet, you want to go to an inside toilet where you can flush the toilet, wash your hands, running water. You want to take showers. You want to be able to go in your kitchen and eat. And these are your standards. If I say, you know, oh, well, living outside is beneath you. Well, it is, you know, but start to see other things as beneath you. Start to see, you know, working for the rest of your life. I mean, I know we have to do what we have to do when we have to do it, you know, until we get to where we're going. But if you see, you know, you go to your job and you hate your boss yells at you and disrespects you, but you still see yourself being there for, you know, until retirement, why? You know, where is your confidence? Where is your self-love? Where is your self-value that tells you, I don't deserve that. I deserve something better. And guess what? When you decide not only do I deserve something better, but I'm going to have better, your brain listens to that and starts to look for pathways to find something better. But you have to make that decision. If you don't make that decision, if your decision is just, oh, this is fine. This is what life handed me. Oh, well, guess what? You're going to be right where you are. And, you know, if that's okay with you, that's okay with you. But if you do want more, do raise your standards. Do value yourself. Do choose better. Do tolerate less. Don't let people run over you for the 15th time before you're like, oh, well, maybe this isn't really my friend. People are showing you all day, every day who they are. Even jobs. When jobs, you know, you call in and tell them, hey, I'm sick, you know, I'm throwing up, my leg is falling off. And they're like, well, if you don't come in, you're fired. They don't care about you. You know, they're showing you, we don't care about you. Don't let that go on for years and years and years and years and years before you realize, hey, maybe I do deserve something better. You do deserve something better. You can have better, but you have to believe that yourself for your brain to actually start going that way. All right, guys? So the one trait that you can do today, start looking it up on YouTube. I can make a video for you guys if you'd like. I actually do have a video that I made before on confidence and how to improve your confidence. So I'll probably include it in a link with this video, but improving your confidence will have you raise your standards, which in turn will have you increase the quality of life that you create for yourself. So you guys let me know if this helped you. And again, let me know if you guys have anything specific that you want me to talk about. I'm open to ideas, but I love and appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And thanks for tuning in and listening with me.